Some other things I want to show you over here on the left is the navigation menu for Visual Tour is a little bit different. You know, in Windows we have the move back and forth. In Visual Tour that's called going up levels. So if I were to go up one level, I would click this and it'll take me back to the grouped items. If I click into a photo and preview it, okay, I'm deeper now in the menu. If I want to go back to all my photos, again, I would click go up one level. So it's a little bit different than Windows handles things, but once you get the concept of it, it's pretty easy. You can always preview your web tour. So let's say I want to take a look at how this would look to the consumer. I'll click on this preview web tour. It's going to cache everything, and it's going to put together a little tour. Typically, when it puts together the tour, it's not going to show you things such as your photo or your company logos, things like that. It's going to give you a generic template. Okay, so that gives you a preview of how it's going to look. This next option is going to let you send the tour to Visual Tour. You could also archive it to a CD. A new feature that came out probably about 6 months ago is you can also create a video tour which you can upload to YouTube. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop. You create your visual tour and then you also can create your video and upload it to YouTube. You can also create a slideshow to show on your laptop, and of course you can print anything for archival purposes. Another nice feature is you have the ability to change the music. All this music is available and licensed for you to use. If you don't like the original music that comes with it, you would simply click on this and you could choose to select the music. And there are hundreds and hundreds of musical backgrounds, from classical to country to dance to easy listening. So kind of find the music that suits your mood. We'll stop here and we'll continue in a second. Okay, now that we've previewed our tour, we may want to make some changes to the way that our tour looks. We may want to slow down how quickly the camera pans from left to right. We may want to change the direction. We also may want to expound upon the verbiage that accompanies each photo. So let's go ahead and click on our first front view here. The caption that we added earlier is represented here, but now we can also put a description and continue. It's going to show this particular scene for 10 seconds. We could make that higher or lower. Below that we have the ability to change the transitions between the different scenes, so we can dissolve them or we can stripe them together. We can have random blocks appear. I usually leave mine by default at dissolve. That way it doesn't distract from what you're trying to do and showcases the property. Also, you can change the pan speed. So let's say I want to make this pan more quickly. I could speed it up to 5 or even 12. I recommend that you leave the panning at a default setting of auto. What it will do is it will adjust the speed based on the number of photos that you've used to create your panoramic. And then also you can choose to start your pan from any location. So you can choose to start it from the left at 0, you can choose to start it from the center, or you can choose to start it almost all the way to the right. Okay, also you have a whole new set of tasks that are available to you on the left. You actually have the ability in here to actually enhance the photos that are in the software. So I just want to give you a preview of how that looks. We'll click that and you can decrease or increase the brightness. You can change the contrast ratios, choose settings for sharpness, and the one-stop button that does everything is you click Auto Enhance and it's going to pick the best of all to best represent that property. So I'm going to choose Done when I'm complete with that. Another nice thing is if you wanted to actually record a narration over this, you could. So this option here allows you to record your voice. I could simply choose record, talk into a microphone or a headset, and I could actually give a audio commentary of this property. You can do a recorded voice on every single scene that you have in this, so it really adds some punch to what you're doing. All right, we're done with this. We're going to go back one level. We're going to choose to save the changes. The next thing we're going to do, now that we're happy with everything, is we're going to go ahead and send this tour to Visual Studio so that we can attach it to our properties that are out there on the MLS. I'm going to click Send to Visual Tour. Just like the preview, it's going to cache everything. And then it's going to ask us to log into our account. And this is the web portion of the Visual Tour. I'm going to put in my username, and I'm going to put in my password. I'm going to click Continue. All right, this is what the screen looks like next. Now, because we pay for Realtor.com for everyone in the company and every listing, the $19.95 fee that would typically apply to uploading a visual tour is waived. So by default, this is unchecked, but feel safe to click this button here to make sure that your tour is represented on Realtor.com, and then Area Showcase takes care of that fee for you. Also, by default, all the propagation sites are checked. I would leave those alone unless there's a reason you didn't want it to go to a particular website. But you'll see it goes to Google Base, Oodle, Trulia, ERA.com, Fast.com, on and on. Zillow. The last thing you're going to do is you're going to fill in the tour information. What I typically do is I pull up the listing in the MLS and I copy everything over from the title to the description, address, and also the tour details, MLS numbers, price, square footage, and the features. Again, I copy those from the MLS. Once that's complete, you're going to click Next, and it's going to upload the tour, and it's going to affiliate with the MLS number that you've typed into this area right here. And within about 5 minutes, you're going to see your tour posted to Realtor.com. Now, just a quick word to the wise. The tour that posts by default is fully featured. So that's going to include your contact information, your photo, company logo, things of that nature. And that's what you want to do. You want to post that to, Area Showcase, ERA.com, and all the sites out there. The only place where you're not going to want to do that is in the MLS. In the MLS, you're going to want to use a non-branded tour. I'm going to take you through that process. I'm going to go to my account, and I'm just going to go into some tours that have just been created recently. And you'll see that there's an option here once the tour is created to generate links. And I'm going to show you how to create a non-branded link, which is going to strip the photos, it's going to strip your name and company logos, things of that nature, which is required by MLS to just have photos in the tour. So I'm going to say I want a link to be generated for this tour. It's going to step you through the process. I'm going to choose my MLS. Next. And I'm going to choose the type of tour that I want. Now, I'm going to use the most restrictive option for the MLS, which is just going to be the photos. So make sure you highlight that. Click Next. And the last decision you have to make is whether or not you want this tour to open in a new window. I would certainly recommend that. I don't like the tours to be framed because you may not see the entire tour. And I don't want the tour to replace the website that the client was on. So I just want it to open a link in a new window. Choose Next. And here's our link. Okay? You don't even have to highlight it. You just choose Copy. And then when you get into the MLS, you'll go ahead and paste that link with your property. Okay, so that's our wrap-up of Visual Tour.